Welcome, patrons, to the Super Chat Square Up last Friday night. But it's Friday, so it still applies. Who do we have here? We have Matthew Manson. We have Eric K. We have Easy Does It. We have Draco Argentius. We have Tyrone Beard. We have Eric K again. And we have Matthew again and Eric K again. And then we have Easy Does It and Ally. What's up? What is up, my friends? Hi. Got to get this done. It's 2:41. I'm going to go for probably like 30 minutes. So we'll probably have to do another one because I do have to get ready for an earlier. We just moved Friday Night Tights up an hour. So 30 minutes I can do this. We'll probably have to do part 2 tomorrow. But I wanted to get something done, and I'm going to get right to it. Greetings, everybody. If you're watching this on Nerdrotic Live, I record these with my wonderful patrons. And I give... it's the Super Chat Square-Ups are important. I want to give these questions the time they are deserved. They are well-deserved because people paid for these. So I need to take my time with them. That's why there might be 2 parts to this, okay? And we will go over to that window right now. Now, the weird thing is I'm logged into one so I can't lose this page because I'm logged into Nerdrotic Live, and I have the super chats over on Nerdrotic itself. And is that a little? Oh no, I didn't want to do that. No. That's not what I wanted to do. Hang on just a second. I thought I had this. That's good enough. You guys can see it. I wanted to get the amount in there. I thought that was important. Which window capture is that? That must be this one right here. Why is it? Oh, okay. I understand. I'll just announce the amount. Okay, so we left off with Toxic Man Flu. Let me make sure you can see that one. There we go. There we go. Had to take an exam and missed my earlier super chats. Okay. So I misunderstood last Friday. He missed the response. I'd love to see the review of the Three Musketeers just so you put comics face on Charlie Sheen's character. You know what? I might do that anyway. Toxic Man Flu. I think I might do that anyway. Tonight's thumbnail is going to be pretty basic fare. It's going to have Snowflake and Safe Space and Jodie Whittaker and Picard reacting. That's pretty much it. I don't have time to... It takes a couple of hours to do the face. And you know what? The one last week, or that you see right here, not entirely happy with it. I needed another couple hours on that. I could do much better work than that. But, I do all this stuff by myself. And I'm fine with that. That's okay. But I do all this stuff by myself. Where did Toxic... Okay, problem being, are you ugly flower shaming? And he is referring to Soji's brother in Star Trek Picard being named Beautiful Flower. Now, we know why, because they all look like they're in a Malibu rehab commune thing. And that's what we have been waiting for. This giant society of synths was a rehab, basically. It actually did look like the Betty Ford Center, where I have been. Declan Lyons, I just Googled Sissy Boy Wank Face. I'm conflicted about the results. And that was from Az from Heels vs. Babyface, who will be joining us tonight again. By popular demand, we're going to have Az tonight, and we're going to have Quarter Black Garrett, and we're going to have Comics Division. No Jeremy, no Odin. Hopefully I can find a couple of other people to join. I'm working on getting Critical Drinker on. We're going to have to move Friday Night Tights up to like 2 p.m. to bring him on, but I'm willing to do that, but we need to do that in the future. We couldn't do it tonight, so maybe next week after. Critical Drinker will be joining us on Friday Night Tights. Cross your fingers if we can work out the schedule. Hail Friday Night Tights, 100% bringing nerds together, says Ashley Harmon. We love Ashley. She is great. Zenith, and that was for $2. For $5, Zenith Works Geeky Candy. We need to save our young boys. They are being demonized. They are. And, in these troubled times that we're in right now, YouTube is doing some weird ass shit. So we're not going to talk about the beer bug at all, only in reference to like comic shops closing and stuff. But we're not going to discuss numbers or anything like that. That's I'm not qualified to do that. I am just a Joe. I know more about it today than I did yesterday, but YouTube is just absolutely not having any of it. And I'll state this here. I hate to use the term enemies. I have people who don't like my content or don't like Jeremy being on the show or don't like Jeremy or Odin or don't like Az or don't like, Anna or whatever. So every one of our videos, every one of our live streams gets, I don't know what this is bugging the shit out of me, gets flagged. Okay. They get flagged, but usually there's a person there to react to it and go, well, obviously this is just somebody flagging the video because they don't like the YouTuber. I can guess probably to a degree of accuracy of 90% who it is. It's pretty clear. Especially when it comes to groups. I can guess who it is when it comes to Star Trek. I can guess who it is when it comes to the Fandom Menace. That one's the easiest. And I can guess who it is with Doctor Who. But generally there's somebody there, so you never notice it, and I never notice it. But now we're starting to notice it because YouTube has said they're not going to have people there. I'm not bringing attention to it because the people who are doing it already knew they could do this. Some of the people doing this might be very experienced with YouTube, we'll just say. I can't prove any of this. But I saw the Exozone get squashed yesterday. I saw Anna's stream get squashed yesterday. Cecil. Now, listen, they get salty on their streams. I get it. I don't get that salty. They do. They can do whatever they want in their channel. But they have every right to get salty. They make it very clear this is adult content for adults. And we do our thing here. The Jack Show has its brand. And its brand is, a drunken banter. And that's funny. It's funny. A lot of people like that. A lot of people get entertained by it. By all means, watch it. I watched it. I was watching. I was trying to tell Anna that what happened to her stream, she got flagged on one. She got pulled down. And then the other one, she got ghosted by YouTube, where if you're subscribed to her, you would see that she's live on the left-hand side, but in your actual feed, her live stream wasn't showing up. Same thing happened to me with the Exozone. Now, I know why, because we were talking about what. And I'm just going to call it the thing that shall not be named. That's my term for it now. I'm not even going to use the beer thing anymore because I think they're shooting that one down too. All right, I'm done with that. $5. Drunk Rhino. My friend stole his friend's newly bought toilet paper and then put it up for ransom on Facebook with pics. It was great. Hail to the panel. Love you all. Thank you for the $5, and that's funny. Drake is 6. Please, it's Star Drek elder abuse. Please, it's Star Drek elder abuse. Hashtag violence porn. It really is. For $2, Drake is 6. You're not wrong. Alex Kurtzman is creatively, I won't even say bankrupt, because that would assume that he ever was creatively. He's repurposefully bankrupt. Nicholas Horton, the next 2 Clone War arcs better not have any identity politics, but knowing current Lucasfilm, it probably will. For £5, it probably will, Nicholas. I'm done with Star Wars. There was some huge news today. One of my favorite actresses, Rosario Dawson. I know I don't care about her politics. I've met her. She was cool. And one of my favorite actresses. I just think she was the queen of the nerds for a little while. She's been in a lot of cool stuff. Is going to be Ahsoka Tano. I think that's great casting for The Mandalorian. And I don't care. Because I think about it and I'm like, well, that makes no sense. Where is this really powerful Jedi who was the Padawan to Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, was not in the main story at all, and all of a sudden she's popping in The Mandalorian, and she's still alive, and throughout all this, and where is she? What? and they don't mention her in the movies. It makes no sense. It's just dumb at this point. And The Mandalorian's fine. It's not a very smart show. It's a fun show. And I hope Star Wars fans enjoy it. I don't care about it anymore. And the Clone Wars, I'm sure they're good. But when I'm saying I'm like apathetic to Star Wars, I mean it. And listen, it took a long way to get here. I was a bigger Star Wars fan than a lot of the people who were Star Wars channels for the Fandom Menace. I mean, not to compare, not to do any dick comparisons here or anything, but like I was a decades long fan from the get go. Spent thousands of dollars, spent thousands of hours when I was a kid. I mean, it shaped my life as a nerd, and it's heartbreaking. And it was a long process for me to not care, and I truly don't. I'm sure I could make a video and get plenty of views on it. But I'd be, what would I say? I'd be like, what I just said. I'd be like, I don't care. I don't care. And you know what? There's still Star Wars fans who care. Great. The question was posed to me, is Star Wars broken? Can Star Wars recover? This has been asked a lot. Yes. And can it recover? How do you mean that question? Like, can it recover as in, will it be what it was before The Last Jedi? Never, ever again. No, it cannot. It will not recover ever again. It will recover to a certain level. It will recover where it will sell some comic books. It'll sell some games. Games will probably be where it is the most successful. The movies are a crapshoot. I don't think so. I don't think people are going to buy into the movies unless you go full on Marvel and, make Mandalorians and Jedis superheroes, or you find the right person to go deep into the past and lean into the fantasy element and go, I mean, like Game of Thrones fantasy, make it adult. But as far as kid, 13, 14-year-old level Star Wars, it will maintain its mediocrity. That's my opinion on that. Drunk Rhino. Oh, I already did that one. Drake is 6. Nicholas Horton. The Legion of Reason. I got to make sure you can see that too. Sorry. The Legion of Reason. Why does a better impression of Block of Wood, Michael Burnham, or who does a better impression of Block of Wood, Michael Burnham or the Good Doctor? I don't know. Chat, what do you think? I'm going to leave that to you. Who's a better block of wood? I would say Michael Burnham's a better block of wood. Don't you think, chat? Because I think, well, I mean, she's right here. She's right here. Jody makes those facial expressions, and she tries to do the David Tennant. I found a meme somewhere where she does two facial expressions exactly like Tennant. I saved the picture. I'll show it on Friday Night Tights tonight. What's up, Tyrone Beard? Thanks. I have been busy as F. I have missed a few streams the last few weeks. How have you been? We've all been good, Tyrone. And what's up, Matthew Madsen? What's going on with the vid? It's unlisted, so you have to find it on Twitter, and it's Patreon exclusive. So I don't know if anybody's having any trouble finding it, but if you're having trouble finding the vid, that's because I'm gonna make it public once we're done recording, and I have a hard stop time of 3:15, so I need to get going. Let's get back on this real quick, and I'll do another one soon. Chris Zeck for $5. I hear that all the writers for Lord of the Rings TV series got fired. Your thoughts? Yeah, Chris, I did a video. I think I responded to this. My thoughts are in the video that I did on my channel briefly. They got rid of Tom Shippey, and I think the show is dead if they got rid of Tom Shippey. But I refer you to my video, which is available. Did you get my notifications? Because I heard the notifications aren't going out. Now, the video did okay. It's got 90,000 views. That's damn good. So, yeah, I'm sorry you missed it, Chris, but it's there. I didn't take it down. Mellow Soul. When people are masturbators, you don't want their stuff to be projected it all over you. Just you don't want it projected all over you. We were talking about projection in Hollywood and the BBC being filled with it for Australian $7.99 and Mellow Soul. You are correct, sir. Absolutely. Australian $5. And I love when as Friday Night Tights gets later, you see the Australians rolling in. Which is great. Aussie Drop Bear. Did Disney poach Game of Thrones Dan and Dave knowing they'd tank season 8, hurt HBO streaming service, then helped boost Disney Plus, then axe them? That's a great conspiracy theory. And you know what? It looks plausible because that's kind of how it played out. But I think here's how Hollywood works in a very, very quick nutshell. Not very hard. You have these giant corporations that have been working on film and television for 100 years, 70 years, decades, multiple decades. They're a well-oiled machine. So you can make an incompetent a-hole look like a genius. And Dan and Dave had HBO's best around them. So the people surrounding Dan and Dave were some of the best people in entertainment, not just in Hollywood or the BBC, in entertainment. The best costume designers, the best set designers, the best TV directors, the best costumers. Just go down the line. Game of Thrones was the best. And it got exposed at the top. That wasn't any of the crew members' fault. They actually had the cast was great too. It was a perfect cast, perfect crew, perfect everything, and it worked out as long as you could poach off of George R.R. Martin's source material, and he was involved in the show. As soon as he wasn't involved in the show, you started to see the cracks in the armor, and Dan and Dave were exposed. They might be competent writers when it comes to dramas and doing other stuff, but you're talking about a high fantasy here, and you set up one of the most exciting plot points in the history of television. You had dragons in a semi-magical world. You were subverting Tolkien's tropes well, fighting zombies. I mean, just think back to how excited you were at the end of season 1 when a naked Daenerys walks out with 2 dragons on her shoulders. I mean, that is the best way to end a single season of television ever. Boobs, dragons, zombies. I am in. And then identity politics happened, and then they started getting full of themselves, and they clearly got burnt out, and they should have handed it off to somebody more competent. I'm telling you right now, the person, I keep forgetting his name, but the guy running House of the Dragon is competent. Like, you will probably get a good series out of this. The thing is, it takes place in a shitty world I don't care about anymore. Game of Thrones ended worse than The Fall of Skywalker did, in my opinion. If you look at it, it's the worst ending to a TV show ever, and it's not recognizable as that show anymore. So, don't get me started. Game of Thrones is like, that one hurt, man. That one hurt more than Star Wars did, because I still love the books. As a matter of fact, I have a review ready to go up on Patreon tomorrow morning. Sorry, it's late. For the prologue, and then I have a Doctor Who review too. Crazy Cat Guy. Tilly seems a bit Aspergian. I tell workers having a what the fuck moment with me to think of me as a short, rounder, dumb version of Sheldon Cooper. Well, she is. She's supposed to be. I think they hinted towards that in the, thank you for the $5. $10. Blue Boy. What Kennedy and others are doing is creating bad content and ramming it through with fake feminism. People now associate feminism with bad content, and now she's hurting the people she claims to champion. You're right, Blue Boy, for $10. And listen, feminism is just a political ideology now. That's all it is. That's all it is. Baha Hussein. Seems the BBC forgot the last time they decided to shake things up and got a crew that is PC for Top Gear and never managed to get the same view count after they doing it over again with the Doctor. Yes, What happened to Top Gear is happening to Doctor Who, and they're failing at every turn. Now, Baha Hussein, my friend, you know this. They were cushioned. They were cushioned by a good economy and that government stipend they have from the populace. That's gone. That shit's over. Chances of there being a Doctor Who Series 14 are slim to none, in my opinion. Fools have been ripping up my comics and pissing on my shows since the 60s. Jealousy is always ugly. Thanks for the fun from Quarantine in Ireland, says Ruop 300 for £5.49. You are quite welcome. And we are all in this together. And let's try to keep it fun. That's what we will do. I mean, it's sad, but mockery is really good medicine. $5. Crazy Cat Guy. Region-free players for the win. It was the only way for me to watch It Ain't Half Hot It Ain't Half Hot Mum discs. Sergeant Major Williams is a bloody brilliant character. We must have been talking about Dad's Army at that point. Yes, I am a bit of a John LeMessurier fan. I know it's kind of a weird person to be a fan of, but I don't know. I watched a video about the guy's life, and he just kind of breezed through life. He was like this irresponsible, doddering old fool, kind of like Picard is portrayed in Picard, but he was like nice and everybody loved him. And he just drank and smoked and acted and watched jazz all night. Just a fascinating story. I don't know why, but it's fascinating. Nicholas Horton. Parallel universe was first mentioned during the Tennant era. Yes, it was, Nicholas Horton. You are correct. And I think it was last mentioned during the Tennant era. And Tennant did say that the Time Lords locked that off because of the Time War, I believe. That Brown Bat. Does this now imply that the Queen of England is a lesbian? Don't think the monarchy would approve. God save the Queen. I mean it, man. For $5. That Brown Bat. Yeah, you're right. Wow, I could probably get in trouble for saying the Queen is a lesbian. But I don't care. $5 Canadian from Von Spam. How many times will a house burn down? How many times will a house burn down? Sorry. In the neighborhood with Kurtzman. Let me start that over. I lost my train of thought. I was just like, oh my God, I hope my mic's on. How many times will the house burn down in the neighborhood with Kurtzman on the lawn holding the box of matches before we all agree who the arsonist is? Von Spam, CBS is obviously stuck with him, and they cannot get out of the contract, you know? I'm live. Oh, you got my Pete's? Thank you. Thank you.
You said to bring it in.
Yes. Good. Oh, I can't believe you found a pizza that's open. Oh, sweet Jesus. Sweet Jesus. You're the best wife ever. All right. Sorry. What's up? Listen. It's over for Star Trek. It's over for Star Trek. They can't... CBS stock is in the toilet. They're going to be cutting things left and right. It looks like the merger is off. Star Trek is not a hit. If it was a hit, it would still be around. It would, because they need content on. Well, they're stuck with CBS All Access now. Jeff Shaver gives 2 super chats, one for $4.99, one for $1.99. No message, just appreciate you guys. Well, I appreciate you too, Jeff. Thank you so much. Borg Porg for season 3 of Castlevania was not bad. Good story and writing, but episode 9 was kind of gay. He says gay. Okay. For $9.90, thank you, Borg Porg. I will eventually watch it. I'm really backed up right now on viewing. That's a bad term for it. Whatever. But yeah, I've been live streaming a lot. And that's good, but live streaming takes large chunks of the day. Toys R Us kid, fixing Star Trek can be an easy fix. The new showrunner of the new show can be the bad robot era. Wait, huh? Toys R Us kid, fixing Star Trek can be an easy fix. The new showrunner of the new show can say this bad robot era is a bad holo novel. They can keep Saru and say he was the author. Yes, Saru I like. I wish they changed the makeup a little bit, but I like Doug Jones. They can keep him all day long. He belongs in Star Trek. I could not agree more. $9.99. Thank you very much. $2 from Jer Hermie. Orange Sutra. Orange Sutra, yes. I Love Scotch gives $10. He just donates and he says, I love Scotch. I just love Scotch. Emery Kalam for Trek needs a Batman the Animated Series to set it back on course. It kind of does. That would be cool. I don't know what style. You wouldn't do it in noir style, obviously. What would be a good, not anime Trek? No. Honestly, if you do it in the style, not the comedic style, but the artistic style, a bit like the Venture Brothers, I'd be okay with that. No question. Just want to shout out. Enjoy listening. Jeff Shaver, you get a shout out. Thank you, my friend, Jeff Shaver. Hail for $9.99. Alistair Wildman, have you seen the bullocks the BBC are doing to Terry Pratchett's The Watch? I have heard. At this point, just stop watching the BBC. F the BBC. Sack the BBC for £5. I think they're, if you're over 75, you don't have to pay your license. If you're under 75, you shouldn't have to pay your license right now. Australian $5. S Strong. Work just made me sign a form stating if I have been out of the country or seen anything that has, and he just ends it right there. Work just made me sign a form if I have been out of the country or seen anyone that has, and it ends. Are you okay? And maybe he's not okay. I hope you're okay, S Strong. Thank you for the Australian $5. $3.99. Harry P. Ness. Even the worst of Swayze is better than Dr. Whittaker. Absolutely. I would watch Roadhouse or Next of Kin 1,000 times. $5. Big as 169. I just got on, but did you talk about Andy Trekker blowing a gasket on the latest Picard review? No, I haven't. I haven't seen his reviews of late. Has he finally come around? I figured he would. Trioxin, not a Doctor Who fan, but wanted to check out, and so I watched Pyramids of Mars starring Tom Baker. What would you recommend from that era? Ooh, Pyramids of Mars from the... I got to see my little list here. Hang on. My go-to for everything, Tom Baker, is City of Death. City of Death. I love that one. That's the first Tom Baker one I remember when I was younger. That's why I go to, but it's also Douglas Adams. And Douglas Adams loves that story so much, he's repurposed it twice. So that's my go-to. I named my daughter Tanuviel because of the BBC. Oh yeah, yes, Tanuviel, which means nightingale in the ancient language of old. For the, I don't know if it was the Westerners or the elves at the time. Tanuviel means nightingale, and yes. From the BBC Rings, Lord of the Rings audio play, the best. Yes, Greg Filer. I can geek out on that radio play forever. It's one of the best things ever made. And the detail they put into distancing voices from the microphone, making things sound outside to inside. Like, I love Big Finish, but Big Finish Doctor Who is like massively overproduced. Like, everybody talks too fast, they talk over each other, and there's no pauses between anything, and there's like, they're walking on the floor, and the footsteps sound like they're giants, and no, like, it was an art form with what it is beautiful to listen to on headphones. I don't know, I'm an audio theater kind of a nerd for that stuff, and Lord of the Rings, BBC is a masterpiece. Tanuviel, which means nightingale in the language of old. Gary, see Facebook massive in-off dump about CBS stock freefall. Says Mills for 35 Zardazes, which is a it's $35 from South Africa, and it says ZAR, and I call it Zardoz. I will check out that message. Thank you. We got Matt Deckard. Well, Frack, it was something regarding question fandom as such. I like Batu. I don't like that Han and Luke aren't there. Oh, we were talking about Galaxy's Edge. Okay, Matt Decker. Yeah, it's boring. You guys are heroes for continuing to watch Picard, says David A. Scovetta. Well, I'm one of the few that are hanging on because people have dipped out on the show. It is clear. I mean, even people are like, my review numbers are even down. It started out 130,000 people watched my first review. I think this latest one will probably hit 60,000. So that's 50% of the audience. My reviews haven't changed. Now, I always consider people think I suck. That's good. But I think it's just maintaining my audience. And I think people are just don't care. They just don't care. That's why I didn't do individual reviews. Now, I have been, what has screwed up my schedule is I'm working on a review. A season-long review, and this thing is long and it's detailed and it's going to have footage. So FCBS, I'll be ready if they try to come at me with a copyright strike. But I need to have the footage there to show how many inconsistencies. And I have to go back every time there's a new episode. I have to go back and fix something I did earlier because I'm doing like little piece reviews as the weeks go on. And if they refer to something and I got something wrong, I can change it, or I can notice that. And that way you notice the plot holes, the millions of plot holes they've created. It's incredible. Is it me, or should this have been a second episode of Picard? It probably was. And they were talking about episode 8 because they reset the entire show. And there's evidence that it was. And I'm looking at this. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this scone right here. I got to have. Sorry. It's just sitting there saying, eat me. It's so good. Okay. We're done. We're caught up. So, I got 3 minutes. Sorry, guys, in the chat. I wanted to move it up because we're going to have Az on, and I don't want to keep him up that late. To be honest with you. I mean, like, I'll probably not start on time, but I have to make a thumbnail and get this thing posted. Oh, I lost connection. Why did I lose a connection with you guys? Hang on. All right, there it is. Audio file. Yes, audio file. I would watch Ghost before Dr. Y. Tyrone Beard, I would watch Ghost 1,000 times. Mr. Nerdrotic is the best. Please check Eric K on Nerdrotic channel. He seems muted on that channel, only not able to chat in any way. Okay, Draco, gotcha. Eric, sorry. I'll check that. Before I even start, did one of the mods mute you? If I see that you were put on mute by one of the mods, I got to talk to my mods. Like I'm starting to get complaints and stuff, but I trust them. I trust Christie's like one of the best, but I'm starting to get complaints. So I'll say it here, and if some of the mods hear it, and I'll say it on Friday Night Tights. Generally, I don't like talking politics, so I think the mods probably took that, and they'll see people discussing the Orange Man and going back and forth, and yeah, they're pretty hardcore on that because I don't like talking politics. It depends on the conversation. If it's light, if somebody says Orange Man bad, please leave that in there. That's fine. Eric, yeah. It might have been friendly fire. I don't know, but I'll get it fixed like immediately. Okay. Sorry about that, bud. All right. I'm going to take off. I'm going to get Friday Night Tights going. I'll see you guys over there. Thank you, Wonder Girl 60 and Dario Sussman and Echo Watt and Eric K. Love you guys. And the prologue review, you're going to get like tons of Patreon stuff this weekend. Tons. Because I only have, I got to work on the Picard video. And what culture came out with a video, top 5 reasons Doctor Who's in trouble, but they try to still shill and distance themselves, and they're finally coming around to it sucking, but they won't give in to what really sucks about it. And they even come out and say, if you're looking for confirmation bias for that PC woke bullshit, just don't watch. And you know what? They said that in a video a couple years ago. This is one of the first channels I subscribed to, and it's one of the only channels I unsubbed from right when they said that. So this will be my first punching up. I'm going to attack their argument, not them, but I'm going to respond to the top 5 reasons why Doctor Who is in trouble, and I'm going to give you the truth. All right. I didn't think I had another Doctor Who video in me, but I watched this video. I got pissed. So I might as well focus that into a video. That'll be out. And then Star Trek Picard will be out probably the Monday following Picard. And yes, I have been working on that since episode 1. And it's just little vignettes of footage and really pointing out inconsistencies, which is really easy in this show. I mean, it's kind of low-hanging fruit, to be honest with you. But I'll see you then. Thank you, everybody. Again, love you guys. Like, share, and subscribe. And, we hit 20,000 subscribers on Nerdrotic Live, and the channel isn't even a year old. So, hell yeah. This thing's about to go public, so smile for all the public there, everybody. Take care.